Welcome back to Sports First, number one in sports. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your host, Salvatore. I am here today to talk NBA Polish League, the state of the NBA, and should Frankie V be sacked or let go? After this shamble of a loss, which they had a lead in the during the end, they had a pretty decent lead, I guess. In the NBA, a 10-point lead or 7-point or whatever, I forget whatever kind of lead it was. Either way, any kind of lead in the NBA isn't really too much. It's just Clippers came back from like 30 something. I think it was against to Oklahoma City Thunder, if y'all remember, who was like earlier, mid-season, not even earlier. But that's the Clippers, though. Clippers have somewhat been that team that comes back from a lot of pretty much a team that makes a lot of comebacks is what I'm trying to get to say. But should Freddie V be sacked or let go or believe? There was a time what was it, like mid-season or before mid-season, there was stuff coming out that he was going to be let go, but he didn't, and I don't know if he gets let go of now. It almost doesn't make sense since its season's about to be over. Like less than 20 games left. Playoffs start in is it in April something? I forget what the specific date is, but it is going to be starting in April. And it doesn't even look like the Lakers are going to make it, so it doesn't even make sense, that I'm talking about the Lakers in playoffs right now, because if anything, they're going to make the play-ins, not the playoffs. You can look at the standings right now, as we see right here, the Lakers, you lose to the worst team in the West Coast. They actually might be the worst, forget if they are, but I'm pretty sure they are the worst team in the league. Unless the Magic, I see. Let's see, 60s. They are the worst team in the league. It's by one game, but ladies and gentlemen, they are. Actually, this might be changed because they're saying it says they're on a one-game losing streak, which they actually just won minutes ago with that brilliant performance from Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr. Kevin Porter Jr. was let go by the Cavaliers. Imagine him still there too. That team would be dynamite, even though they already are. And they have an injured Colin Sexton, who's not going to be in for a bit, or who's not going to be back for a little bit. Well, actually, the whole year. He's already out for the whole year. But as I was saying, the Lakers losing to the Rockets. You can't do that if you want to get. You are in that playoff play-in position, but still, can Portland find a way to get in? Portland. I think Pelicans can actually jump them since I was hearing that Zion could come back. They're saying he's looking fit and all this other stuff. NBA news is all over the place because. One thing I was hearing, like, he's not going to be back until next year. Next thing is like, oh, he's going to be back in a couple of weeks. Similar with Kawhi and Paul George. They were like, oh, we don't know what it's going to look like. The elbow with Paul George and Kawhi, his knee. And then, like, a week later, it's like, they're like, oh, it's looking really good. And somebody's like on, I forget which game I was watching, but there was like, it's like some insider was telling us it was looking really nice that both of them are going to be back and this and that. But still, they're in that playoff play-in position as well. It's 10 to 7. You could still get in or get out technically if you're one of them. But if you look at the Nuggets, they ain't got all their stars. They got a good all-around team. The coach is good. But still, with Vogel, Frankie, V, do they have to let him go? This guy does not know. I don't know if I can always blame the players because for a while I myself have kind of laid off. I don't like. Coaching is kind of. It feels like it's a difficult job. If your players aren't playing too well, then what in the F can you do? Because I mean, Russell Westbrook isn't magic out there. Malik Monk is on and off. Taylor Horn or THT Taylor Horn Tuck can be on and off. I mean, he has some nice moments and it's just some shitty moments. One bright spot here and there. They're they're not consistent as a whole team. I don't know if I'm not sure if that's Frankie V's fault, but they've had so many games where they've had the lead and then they lose it. I literally watch a game and I'm like, I'm like, oh, they're gonna win this, but then I'm like, oh, what am I thinking? I literally saw like a week back that they freaking lost a game when they had a pretty decent lead. When they have like a 10-point, 8-point lead, I'm like, it could easily. Plus, they had that embarrassing loss to was it Clippers where Reggie Jackson just dogged them. He just humiliated everybody on the Lakers. I don't remember another. Man, we can look at their freaking schedule as well. Might as well, since show is not too far from being done. Oh, and the loss to the Spurs. For God's sakes, you can't. I mean, Spurs is a somewhat young team, but a talented team. With Keldon. Lonnie Walker wasn't even playing. It was pretty much Murray, Pirtle, and just. I mean, LeBron wasn't playing in that one, so I guess. But still, Russell and them could have pulled that one off. It looked like they were gonna pull it off, but you're watching, you already know pretty much. The Warriors Lakers game, I guess that's one, but still, there's no consistency with this freaking team. I tell you what, unless they find their way similar to last year into the playoffs with the play-ins, and the biggest problem is AD. Like, dude, stay freaking healthy. The last injury, man, he's had so many injuries over the time. It's like I'm not too big on like staying up with the injuries and all that, but when you watch enough games, you just pretty much hear it through the commentary and all that other BS. But still, man, this guy does not know how to stay healthy. He even got criticism from old boy Magic Johnson last year. Says some has blah blah expired. But other stuff in the NBA, John Morant has been killing it. Joel Embiid leading points per game with 29.7. I feel like he could get it. Last year I thought he was gonna get it, but then he had that injury. And then he was pretty much out for a good amount of game. I don't know the specifics to the numbers, but he was out for a little bit. Giannis is with 29.7 as well. This is season, yeah. Let's see what we got tonight. Tatum with the 44. Tatum is a dog, man. I was hearing somebody say that Tatum is getting close to that future MVP talk, but he's been in that future MVP talk. Like, how could you not, mate? How can you not? Malik Beasley with 33. Jeez. That Timberwolves team is talented all around. I love that team. But yeah, they're just a little more experience in the playoffs and stuff. Who knows? Maybe. Even this year, would you be shocked? I wouldn't be shocked if they were somehow found themselves in the playoffs with somehow with teams getting injured and all this other good stuff. Like I said, with teams last year, with it was kind of easy for the Bucks in a way because Nets had injuries all around. Suns, I think they had the injury with CP3. That kind of pretty much what I'm trying to say. If a lot of stuff like that happens again, then why not? Why not the Timberwolves? But again, they're in that 7th spot, so it's like, yeah. Rudy with 14.4 rebounds per game. That's pretty decent.